Utopia was written by Thomas More in 1516. It is a work of political philosophy, social critique, and imaginative fiction. The word utopia comes from Greek. It means no place. It suggests that the ideal society described in the book does not exist in reality. Moore wrote it in the form of a dialogue, using his own persona as the narrator and including characters such as Peter Giles, a learned friend, and Raphael Hithlode, a well traveled philosopher. The work critiques European society, particularly England, and presents an imaginary society on the island of Utopia, where rational principles, justice, and equality prevail. The book is divided into two main sections. The first section focuses on criticizing European society and its laws, politics, and social structure. The second section provides a detailed description of Utopia, its institutions, customs, and way of life. The narrative begins with Thomas More, the narrator recounting his conversation with Peter Giles, who introduces him to Raphael Hithlode. Hithlode is a man who has traveled widely and observed many societies, gaining deep insights into human behavior and governance. He criticizes Europe, especially England, for its greed, corruption, and unjust laws. English laws are too complex for ordinary people to understand, and lawyers exploit this complexity for their own benefit. Kings and rulers, he argues, act in self interest rather than for the welfare of their subjects. Hithlode claims that wars are not fought for noble reasons but mainly for personal gain, wealth, and power. He sees this as a fundamental flaw in European societies which prioritize advantage over morality and justice. One of Hithlode's main critiques is the practice of enclosures, where landlords convert common lands into private pastures for sheep. This process displaces peasants, leaving them unemployed and forcing them into poverty. The poor, driven by desperation, are often compelled to commit petty crimes which are then punished harshly by the state. At the same time, the rich manipulate laws to protect their wealth and increase their advantage. Hithlode argues that the system is fundamentally unjust because it punishes the poor for circumstances created by the rich. He emphasizes that private property is a source of greed, social inequality, and crime. Wealth concentrates in the hands of a few, while the majority of the population struggles to survive. According to him, the unequal distribution of resources destabilizes society, and governments fail to address the needs of the poor. Hithlode also discusses the role of rulers and philosophers in society. He believes that rulers should govern with wisdom and justice, prioritizing the common good over personal ambition. Philosophers are better suited to guide rulers because they understand ethics, morality, and the needs of society. Education should aim to produce virtuous citizens capable of contributing to a just society rather than merely obedient subjects. Through this critique, More indirectly comments on the social, economic, and political problems of England, highlighting issues such as corruption, inequality, and the mismanagement of law and power. The second section of Utopia shifts from critique to description, providing a detailed account of the imaginary island of Utopia. Hithlode presents Utopia as an organized, rational society designed to maximize the welfare of all its citizens. Private property does not exist in Utopia. Instead, goods are held in common and citizens take only what they need. This communal system eliminates greed, reduces crime, and ensures that everyone's basic needs are met. By removing economic inequality, utopians create a society based on fairness and cooperation rather than competition and self interest. Utopia is divided into cities, each with carefully planned streets, houses, and public spaces. All citizens live in similar houses, and no one is excessively wealthy or poor. Agriculture is the main occupation, and everyone participates in farming for part of the year. Work is divided among citizens so that no one is overburdened and everyone contributes to society. By combining manual labor with intellectual pursuits, utopians maintain both their physical health and their mental development. Slavery exists but is limited to prisoners of war and criminals. Slaves are treated humanely and are integrated into society rather than being brutally oppressed. Education is highly valued in Utopia. Both boys and girls receive schooling, and the curriculum emphasizes practical knowledge, moral development, and the study of philosophy. Religion is diverse, and multiple beliefs coexist peacefully. Religious tolerance is a key principle, and citizens are free to follow the faith that suits them as long as it encourages virtue and respect for others. Utopians believe that moral behavior is more important than rigid adherence to dogma. This inclusive approach reduces religious conflict and fosters social harmony. Government in Utopia is based on elected officials and councils. Leaders are chosen for their wisdom and virtue rather than wealth or birth. The society emphasizes law and order, but laws are simple, clear, and designed for the common good. Crime is rare because the social system meets the needs of everyone, and punishment focuses on reform rather than revenge. Hythloday describes the utopian approach to justice as rational and humane, avoiding the corruption and cruelty he observed in Europe. Utopians value leisure and intellectual pursuits alongside work. Citizens have time to study, discuss philosophy, and engage in cultural activities. Festivals and communal meals foster a sense of community and shared responsibility. The society discourages idleness but also presents overwork, creating a balance that promotes well being and social cohesion. War is avoided unless necessary for defense, and even then, military service is organized and disciplined. Utopians prioritize peace and diplomacy, reflecting their rational and ethical approach to governance. The utopian social system also promotes gender equality in ways unusual for More's time. Women are educated and participate in the workforce, particularly in domestic and agricultural tasks. Marriage and family life are regulated to ensure stability and mutual support. Monogamy is encouraged, but divorce is permitted under certain circumstances. Sexual morality is guided by reason and social welfare rather than arbitrary law. The utopian approach emphasizes cooperation, family responsibility, and moral behavior as foundations of a stable society. Health and sanitation are carefully maintained. Cities are clean, houses are well ventilated, and medical care is available to all. Food is abundant and nutritious, preventing malnutrition and disease. These measures reflect the utopians' rational approach to society, where human needs are systematically met through planning, cooperation, and foresight. By addressing both physical and moral well being, Utopia creates a society where individuals can flourish while contributing to the common good. The description of Utopia serves multiple purposes. It contrasts sharply with European society, highlighting problems such as poverty, crime, corruption, and inequality. At the same time, it encourages readers to imagine a rational, just society where laws, property, education, and religion work together to promote human welfare. More's work is not just a political treatise but also a moral and philosophical reflection on the possibilities of human society. Through Utopia, he critiques contemporary Europe while offering a vision of reform grounded in reason, ethics, and communal responsibility.